Why do people cheat? Most of us think we already know the answer. They're selfish, they're unhappy, or they simply stopped loving their partner. But if it were really that simple, millions of psychologists wouldn't still be studying it. Today, we'll explore what science, psychology, and human behavior reveal about one of the most controversial questions in every relationship. Many people assume that cheating happens because love is gone. But research suggests that's only part of the story. Some people cheat in unhappy relationships. Others cheat in relationships they describe as happy. If love alone explained infidelity, this contradiction wouldn't exist. So perhaps the better question isn't, do they still love their partner? But rather, what were they looking for that they felt was missing? When people hear the word affair, they often imagine sex. But many psychologists argue that sex is only part of the picture. For some people, the real attraction isn't physical. It's the feeling of being noticed again, being listened to, being appreciated. Sometimes, a simple conversation can create a stronger emotional connection than years of living under the same roof. That's why many emotional affairs begin long before anything physical ever happens. Perhaps the biggest question isn't what happened between two people, but what was missing before they ever met. Most of us imagine cheating as a single decision. One moment, one mistake, one bad choice. But real life is rarely that simple. Many experts describe it as a gradual process, a series of small decisions that don't seem important on their own. Replying to one more message, sharing one more secret, looking forward to seeing someone again. None of these actions feels like betrayal. Yet together, they can slowly move someone across a line they never intended to cross. Maybe the biggest decisions in life aren't made all at once. Maybe they're built, one small step at a time. One of the biggest myths about infidelity is that only unhappy people cheat. But life isn't always that simple. Some people who cheat describe their relationships as loving, stable, even happy. So why would someone risk everything they already have? Sometimes, it isn't because they're looking for a new partner. They're looking for a different version of themselves. Someone who feels exciting again. Someone who feels desired again. Someone who remembers who they were before responsibility took over. Maybe the affair isn't about escaping a person. Maybe it's about escaping a life that no longer feels like their own. If temptation exists for everyone, why do some people never cross the line? The answer may have less to do with willpower than with boundaries. Loyal people don't simply avoid affairs. They avoid situations that slowly lead to them. They know where the line is, long before anyone asks them to cross it. Because boundaries aren't built at the moment of temptation. They're built years before temptation ever arrives. Very few people destroy a relationship in one day. Instead, they make hundreds of tiny choices. None of them seem important. Replying a little faster, sharing something more personal, looking forward to one more conversation. Every decision feels harmless, until one day, you realize you're living a life you never planned to have. Sometimes, the biggest mistakes begin with the smallest permissions. The human mind has an incredible ability to protect itself, especially when our actions conflict with our values. So we create explanations. I'm just being friendly. They understand me. It's only texting. I'm not hurting anyone. The more uncomfortable the truth becomes, the more convincing the story sounds. Perhaps the hardest person to fool isn't your partner. It's yourself. When trust is broken, many people ask the same question. Can a relationship ever return to what it once was? The honest answer is probably not. Trust isn't like a broken glass that can simply be glued back together. It's more like a forest after a wildfire. Something new can grow. Sometimes it even becomes stronger. But it will never look exactly the same. Rebuilding trust takes far more than apologies. It requires honesty, consistency, and time. A lot of time. Infidelity doesn't always end a relationship. For some couples, it's the beginning of difficult conversations they should have had years ago. For others, the damage is simply too deep. There isn't one answer that fits every relationship, because every relationship is built differently. Some are built on habit, some on friendship, some on passion, some on trust. When one pillar falls, the outcome depends on what remains standing. Every relationship changes. That's inevitable. The real question is, do two people continue changing together or separately? Most relationships don't end because of one terrible day. They slowly drift apart through ordinary days, small conversations that never happen, small problems that never get solved, small moments of appreciation that slowly disappear. Sometimes, prevention isn't about avoiding temptation. It's about protecting connection. Infidelity isn't just a story about relationships. It's a story about human nature, about loneliness, desire, fear, validation, and the choices we make when no one is watching. The truth is, every relationship will face challenges. But challenges don't make decisions. People do. Understanding why people cheat isn't about defending the behavior. It's about understanding ourselves. Maybe cheating isn't caused by one single reason. Maybe it's the result of countless small moments, combined over time. Some people will see it as betrayal. Others will see it as a symptom. Perhaps both can be true. What matters most is not how quickly we judge, but how deeply we're willing to understand. Because understanding human behavior may be the first step toward building healthier relationships. There may never be one answer to why people cheat, but perhaps asking better questions is more valuable than chasing simple answers. So now we'd like to hear from you. Do you think infidelity is mostly a choice, or the result of problems that begin long before anyone notices? Share your thoughts in the comments, because every perspective adds another piece to understanding human nature.